Hi guys, this is Jiggie, a portrait and wedding photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. So in this video, I'm actually going to be shooting some half-body portraits of my wife, and I thought what better way to actually explain high-speed sync and flash sync speed to you guys in a practical way in terms of how I use it, why I use it, and basically all the principles behind it. So, okay, so let's start shooting. Alright, so the camera that I will be using today is my Sony a7R Mark IV with a 50mm 1.4 lens. Now, I chose a 50mm because I feel that's a perfect focal length for a half-body portrait. Camera height is more or less about chest level of my wife, or a little bit higher. Now, you guys can see that I actually have a monitor here so that you guys are able to see exactly what my camera is seeing. Now later, I will actually turn on HDMI info off so that I can actually see what I'm shooting here in the back of the screen. And this particular monitor, which is a DeskView R7P, I will now swing around so that my wife, who is my subject for today, will be able to see how the images are turning out. Now, the only reason why I want the HDMI info display on is so that I can walk you through my settings. Now, I'm also recording this through the help of this one, my Hollyland Mars 300 Pro transmitter, which is now transmitting a Wi-Fi signal from my camera to my iPad, where I am actually recording, and you will see a live view while I am shooting. So, how am I supposed to show you guys what high-speed sync is and flash sync speed, or the difference? Basically, I use high-speed sync if I want to go beyond my flash sync speed to blur out my background. That's the only reason why I want to use that. Now, in this type of situation, it is not really as evident as it is in normal shooting situations outdoor, but the principle is the same. So, what is the difference, or how does it work? Basically, your flash sync speed syncs with your shutter. And it is also dependent on basically your trigger. Your flash sync speed is dependent on your trigger and your flash. Then I also have two flash units here connected to my mag ring that's connected to my MagMod mag box, which will be our main modifier for today. The reason why I have two flash units there is that I have one flash that's capable of high-speed sync and another flash that's not capable of high-speed sync. Now, I also have two triggers. One that's not capable of high-speed sync, like this Photix Odin Light, and another one that is capable of high-speed sync, which is my Sony WRC1M, which is now connected to the Sony F60RM over there, and this one is connected to the Photix Juno. Okay, so let's start off with this one, the Photix Odin Light with the Photix Juno. I turned off my live view so that you're able to see exactly what I want to show, but the actual exposure of this one right now is this. It's 1/250 f1.4 ISO 100. Now, you might say that 1/250 is still within the flash sync speed, but you'll be surprised that some cameras actually only have until 1/200, and some flash triggers can only go up to 1/160. So let's push this a bit. Let's put it to 1/320, which is now beyond the flash sync speed. We are in the realms of high-speed sync. And this is what happens when you take a photo. See how the second curtain is actually in frame while the flash is still popping. That is what we call banding. So if I bring down my shutter speed now, let's say to 1/160, which is the flash sync speed of this trigger, therefore the banding disappears. Okay? Now, if I change my trigger to one that's capable of high-speed sync, and it's triggering a flash that's capable of high-speed sync, my setting is still at 1/320. My shutter speed is still at 1/320 f1.4 ISO 100. If I take a shot, you have no banding. Let's change triggers again and trigger the flash that's not capable of high-speed sync, okay? And the trigger that's not capable of high-speed sync also, and there you go. Exact same settings, and this time you are actually capturing the second curtain. So how does high-speed sync work then? Basically, what this flash does is that it syncs within the first curtain and second curtain. Basically, once the first curtain is still opening and the second curtain is already closing, it actually gives multiple pops of light in that strip of area that is actually exposed, that strip of the sensor that is actually exposed to light. So instead of just giving one big pop of flash, it will give multiple pops of flash, and that's how high-speed sync works. The downside of that one is because it gives multiple pops of flash, basically you are losing a lot of power. That's why if you notice in some of my outdoor photos, I actually use flash units that are 500 watts and above that are capable of high-speed sync, so that I can go to shutter speeds of about 1/4000 or 8000 and still be able to stop down or bring up my aperture to 1.4 or 2.8 and blur out the background. So that's basically it. And for me in this studio today, I actually want to shoot, I want to get rid of all ambient light. That's why if you see my exposure now, I'll show you. So this is basically my live view turned off. So this is not an actual representation of what my camera is exposing for. It is actually this. So right now it's pitch black. Even if I bring it, let's say, to 250, it's still, or I can still see a bit. So I'll bring it to 320 so that it's pitch black, completely black. So every light that I am getting is coming from my modifier. Now all ambient light is removed. Okay, so I guess let's start shooting. At least now I can shoot at 1.4, blur out this beautiful backdrop by Kate Backdrop. It's a hand-painted backdrop on canvas. Beautiful, beautiful backdrop. And if you want to know, or if you want to know more about this and want to see my review, I'll actually post a link in the description below. So the lighting pattern that we are using now is basically a clam-shaped lighting. It's normally called a beauty light. And my main light is the MagMod Mag box with a diffuser in front. And I just have a standard reflector here, the silver side, to be able to fill in the shadows here. So let's go through the settings of my camera also before we start shooting. I am in continuous shooting mode. Then my white balance is set at 5600 Kelvin. My DRO is off. Everything's just standard. Basically, very, very simple shoot. My settings are 1/320 f1.4 ISO 100. Okay, so with that out of the way, I'm actually going to be turning off my HDMI info display on, or info display, I'm going to turn it off so that my screen behind my camera will be activated. Now this desk view monitor, I will be facing here so that it becomes a preview for my wife to be able to see how she looks like. So with that, let's call in my wife. Babe, come on in. Okay. All right, babe. So you've been asking for this. You want some half body shots? Okay, I think I need to bring it up a bit. Perfect. Now, all right, give me some angles. Get into your pose. Very nice, very nice. Wait, let me fix the composition. Beautiful. Perfect. Love it. Very nice. You like it? You can see it, right? Very nice. Okay. Chin towards me. Chin up a bit. Go. Extend your neck towards me. There. Beautiful. Love it. I love it. Perfect. You're so easy to shoot. I love it. So if you guys notice, I'm shooting at f1.4. I'm getting a nice blurred background already. So it makes her pop away from the backdrop. So and it gives a nice ethereal look to this image too. All right. One more. Very nice. Love it. Okay, if you guys want to know my flash settings also, it's actually at 1/4 power. I'm using the Sony f60 RM, as I said earlier. Okay, so let's change it up, babe. Come on, let's relax. You know what? Maybe let's do a straight shot. Put your hand here. Very nice. I love your skirt, by the way. You could smile also if you want. Wait, I'll bring it down. I'll bring it down a bit. Okay. All right, look at me. You know, that's nice. Look down. Look down, close your eyes. Yes, there we go. How nice. Okay, then look at me. Very nice. Smile. There. Very nice. Beautiful. You can see everything, right? Do you like it? All right, so that's it. This was a very, very simple shoot for us. And I hope I was able to explain to you guys the difference between high-speed sync and flash sync speed. If by any chance you have some more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will make sure to answer it the moment that I have time. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thank you again, babe, so much. Subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you want to see more of my images, feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's at Jiggie Alejandrino. Okay, till the next video. All right, babe, let's shoot some more. Cool.